around the year 400 AD, the Roman Empire was disintegrating. Franks, Goths and Visigoths were moving in, taking apart the structures of Roman civilization, and within 100 years the entire thing was gone, something which had taken over all of Europe and vast parts of the edges of Asia. But at the same time, the kingdom of Champa was coming of age. From Kundarapura, the Cham moved their capital further south to avoid conflict with the Chinese. At this point, the construction of Mithon begins. King Bhadravarman I, taking his title and legitimacy from the rulers of India, erects a stele demanding, "Do not destroy what I have given. If you do, all your good deeds in your different lives shall be my good deeds." The complex was maintained ever since and would become the burial place of kings and religious leaders. This was the centre of the Cham's social, cultural and religious civilization.
Yoga barely changed in 2,000 years. The anatomical pose, the lotus.
In some ways, all roads led here. This is the centre of the Champa kingdom. However, it's quite a precarious situation. In the north, by around the year 650, the Cham are having to send money to pacify the Chinese and ensure their own safety. Equally, over to the west, the Khmer kingdom is right at its zenith. At the same time in which people live and worship here, Angkor Wat is being constructed, the city of Angkor housing more than 1 million people, the greatest city which would exist right up until the middle of the 19th century in London.
Well, Peter, I'm coming alive. I've gotten over the embarrassment of buying the last pair of shorts in the shop that would fit me, and here we've got. It reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones, where people are excavating and finding things. It's a real credit to the Vietnamese. They are restoring the Cham heritage, the Cham culture, and sure they're a small ethnic minority group now. The Cham people. This was the Champa, of course. And it's that spirit of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. We will build it up again. We will, we will restore it. And yes, this was definitely not like this 20 years ago. It was just the shells and the ruins. We can see different colours of bright terracotta brick, carefully restored and relaid to rebuild it back to how it was in its heyday. And it's really encouraging. Yes, well done.
For 1,000 years or more, this stuff survives, and then over one short war, more than 90% of it is destroyed.
So I came here 20 years ago and it was in a similar state of disarray. I mean, you can see there's quite a bit of rebuilding being going on. If I came 30 years before that, it would have been in a remarkable condition, most likely. Here's the culprits, American shells.
And this is it. This is what is left behind of that war. The damage that was done can be seen here, but also in front of me here, where what is 1,350 years old, but is now almost just a pile of rubble.
There's the plane going overhead, right on cue.
Oh yeah, look, it's so low as well.
Think yourself lucky it's not 1971, Peter.
Myron Gulich.
Hello, Myron Gulich.
Yeah.
My name's Gavin.
My nickname is MG.
MG.
Mighty good.
Mighty good.
Yeah, mighty good.
That's kind of you to talk to us. So you were saying you landed in Da Nang.
We landed in Da Nang from Okinawa in U.S. Marines 53 years ago, and I never thought that I would make it out of here alive, because when we landed, they were already shelling the airport, and we had to run from the airplane into bunkers. And I'm thinking to myself, my first tour of duty was 13 months, and I'm thinking to myself that I'm never going to make it out of here alive. The very first day, they're already trying to kill me,
How old? So you? What?
I was 19.
19, yeah.
The famous song,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
"Na, na,
sure,
na,
yeah.
19. So, and I was in the 7th Motor Transport Battalion, and our base was in Chulai, and we spent 10 months there, and I worked in supply, and I went on convoys and volunteered to be the gunner on top of these 5-ton trucks that deliver supplies to the field artillery and people out in the field, basically food and ammunition. And then we moved to Da Nang, to a place called China Beach, which is now called...
And then my iPhone was out of storage. We listened more to an incredible story from an incredible man, and it was a great moment to reflect.